everybody, welcome to our fall hashtag event. I'm sketching on just an old dollar store sketchbook, a light sketch of a girl that's going to have leaves for hair I should say. Just a light sketch with just a 2B pencil, and in a moment I'm going to start laying some paint down on her. And I like the thinner paper because I'm going to cut her out and lay her on a board in the next step. So I'll let you watch this a little and we'll move on to number 2 step. So I've got my sketch pretty much finished, and now I'm going to just add some gesso here. You can see this is Liquitex, I believe, Basics acrylic gesso. And I'm going to just put it all over the page so I have a little bit of tooth so that I can add the paint. Just kind of randomly, light motion, nothing special. I'll still be able to see my pencil. It'll make my pencil bleed a little bit, but I kind of like that effect in the long run. And now next, I'm going to pull out my gelatos here, you see. I love my gelato. And I'm going to start adding some color to her face. There's red. You can see I'm using red, gold, orange, and blue today. And I'm going to start adding some color to her cheeks. Same old scruffy brush method that I seem to always revert to. And I'm going to use a dry brush here just to mix it around. And I'll keep going until I'm satisfied with her face colors. So I've added some more colors, and actually it looks like I picked up some green there by mixing the gold and the blue a little bit. And I'm just blending. My favorite word, blending. And I'm using gesso. I'm picking up there off the back of the tablet and blending in with my gelato colors. Gives it kind of a nice muted effect. But the colors still show through it. So I'm going to keep this up for a while until I'm satisfied with all of the colors on her face. Okay, now I've softened her up quite a bit with some gesso and a little bit of heavy body white paint. And now I'm putting on some of the brown Stabilo. You can see it's kind of a stub of a pencil. I have a lot of little stubs of those pencils. I love them a lot. And I'm going to define some areas, and I'm going to add some little teardrops because this little summer girl is really sad that summer is changing her face into autumn. Myself, this little girl, is really excited because fall is soup weather, and that's my favorite time of year. So I'm going to highlight with a Stabilo and just keep blending, just keep blending. So we're getting close to the end of this step. A lot of coloring has to go on still though. So I have her face pretty much where I want it to be at this point, and I've started coloring the leaves, and I'm just using my Derwent watercolor pencils on this, and I'm using 3 different shades of green, making them look a little yellow in places, highlighting them, and I'm also using the brown Stabilo too to outline and define the little spine on the leaves. Just more color, and guess what? I'm blending. Her where I want her. And because I don't like to waste anything, what I've decided to do is take an old canvas that I absolutely detested, something I had painted on a long time ago, and I'm going to cover it up and make a new back for this girl. And you can see over there on the left a little bit, I'm showing you the encaustic gesso now. You can see some of the colors bleeding through, which is just fine with me because we like the background to show. If you look really carefully, you can see also on the upper left a part of an eye that was there, and maybe even the shape of the nose, but I might be reaching to see that. Anyway, I've covered the whole thing in gesso, and I'm going to start laying some color down and using some stencils here shortly. Okay, now I'm back, and I'm going to start adding color, and my first go-to color is Quinacridone Nickel Azu Gold. Azo Gold. I'm not sure how you say it, but I tell you, it's one of my favorite go-tos. especially for backgrounds. I'm an earth tone kind of person, and this one's great because it has a coppery, burnt sort of orange look, and it also turns into yellow as you spread it. You can see it there in the bottom. And I'm just going to go around the edges with it until I decide it's time to add some more color. I'm going to add some golden green gold, and I'm going to use some stencils and just play around a little bit to build up some kind of texture points on this level. So I'm just going to keep going with my stencils and my colors and play, play, play. Art play is what it's all about. I want to have fun and feel good. No competition, just color. I skip ahead here now, and I've added some more color, and I've added some Liquitex bright aqua green, and I'm just spreading it all around, and I've added some more stencil. And sorry for the coughing dog in the back. We have a Toby, come here. We have an old guy that's got chronic bronchitis, so we're having to deal with cough all day. And then I added some more of the quinacridone nickel azu gold, and left it dark, didn't spread it out so much because I wanted more dimension. And I'm just going to continue again until I get the complete canvas filled the way I want it to be. And you know what? I never even know what that is until I get to that point. So now I'm just kind of taking one of my little clay tools and etching into the paint a little bit here and there just to play around. Some leaves and a flower, it looks like. As I recall, it doesn't end up showing by the time I'm done, but I always like to play when I'm painting because that's what it's all about for me. The 4-year-old comes out, no holes barred. So now I'm going to heat my wax up, and you see I have a griddle here, and you have to be very careful not to get it too hot because the fumes can be very caustic. But I'm going to pour a little encaustic wax into my pan and let it melt. And just to forewarn you that once you use a brush for this, you won't be using it for anything else, and it'll remain very stiff unless you really melt the wax down. Medium onto the background, and she's dry, and now I'm going to go across her with the wax in the brush, and I'm going to go in several directions. I've gone both vertically and horizontally with her, and pretty much covered her with the encaustic wax. And now what I'm going to do is take my heat dryer, you can use a hair dryer as well, and I'm going to go back and forth and pick out any little flicks of dust or hair, which often happens in a house like mine when you have lots of animals, out of it as I go. But I'm going to heat it, and what I'm trying to do is level it off, because if I get it really even, it's going to be a very pretty glassy finish. And this is time consuming, and on a canvas it's a little bit harder than what I normally work with because there's no support in the middle of the canvas, so it's not exactly even, which makes the spreading the wax evenly a little more difficult. But be patient and just keep going. If you are just starting out with sealing things with encaustic wax, you might want to use a board. As long as it's not warped, it will actually, see I'm flecking a little piece of dust out of it there. It will actually be much easier once you're level, if you're on a level surface. And see, now I've taken this is what I call my pick brush, and it actually takes out little flecks of hair or whatever. And I'm just going to go back and forth and melt the glass, and then I'm going to, eyeball it. If you're interested in an encaustic glass, Ivy, oh goodness, I can't think of her last name, but I'll list a link to her class down below. I've taken one of her classes. I didn't quite finish it. Her methods are a little bit different than mine, but she is a very good instructor and will teach you. It's a worthwhile class. I recommend it to anybody. I enjoyed it. I'm going to be teaching encaustic workshop in Ojai probably in October, the way it looks now. If you're interested, you can go to BluByrdeeSkye.com or send me a message on BluByrdeeSkye on Facebook if you're in the California area and would like to go to it. I've had a big cry for encaustic, and I'm actually going to experiment with something that I don't want to say yet before that class, because I'm thinking I might combine it with 2 different projects, something I've never tried. So got to try it before I announce it, because if it's a failure, oops, we had fun, right? Anyway, thank you for joining, and this is my little summer girl. This picture, by the way, was inspired by my middle child, Jules, who, when she was about 4, I think, I used to play my guitar for the kids all the time, and she and I wrote this little song called Summer is Changing Her Face into Autumn. And the lyrics are really kind of cute. It's summer is changing her face into autumn, leaves are falling, floating to the ground, changing their color from green to amber. They float, they fall, they come tumbling down, dancing and swirling around. Soon they will land on the ground. When they touch, they won't make a sound. And it goes on to talk more about the seasons. I was a teacher, and anything, music, art, whatever I can use to help teach kids the things they learn so fast. I do. Miss those days, but been through that with grandbabies now, and starting on the great grandbabies. Anyway, thank you again for joining. You can visit my site on BluByrdeeSkye.com. That's BluByrdeeSkye.com to find out more about my workshops and see some more of my art. I hope you have a great day. A great day of art play, I should say. And make sure you watch all these other hashtags. Bye-bye. Well, I said it was gone, but I decided to show you one last close-up look at it. It's still a little milky, and you'll see some wax on the sides there. I'm probably going to go over it a couple more times with my heat gun, just a slow process, back and forth and back and forth. But if you can tell, I think you can see it's pretty flat. It's pretty evenly melted, which is what gives it the glassy effect. And it makes all those layers, you know, all the different paint layers and the paper that I've put on it, end up looking just like one. So there's summer. Hope you enjoyed.